Go live here. What's happening? Let's see here. Okay, it says we're live on the video. Let's see if we're A, if we're live, and B, if we have the chipmunk voice, or if we have a normal voice today. We've had the chipmunk voice a couple times recently, so let's see what we have now. Cheetown's in the house. Okay, it says we're live on the video. Chipmunk voice. Okay, we are going to reboot. We're going to reboot, folks. Stand by for a reboot.
Okay, all right, we are going live again. We're going to give this a second try here and see what we have. Let's see what it sounds like after the reboot. Okay, and this is the replay. All right, we are good on the reboot. We're good on the reboot. Okay, so Carlos is in the house. In my understanding, not all GS have screw-down crown. That's correct. Some of the ones that are more designed for dress purposes, really, they did not go with the screw-down crown. But some of those still have 10-bar water resistance. So there you go. That's the deal on that. And let's see, Cheetown working now, all good, says Tim. And by the way, the actual screw-down crown is, generally speaking, not what gives the watch the water resistant. It does seat it against the seals inside that give the water seal. So a regular crown, push-pull crown, can also seat and can also give you that watertight seal and can work. I mean, if you think about it, the faucets in the house and things like that, they're not screw down, right? They just seat into a certain position and then therefore they're waterproof. So you can have water resistance to a certain depth without a screw-down crown. That's my take. That's my take on that for whatever it's worth. And let's see, Basil World is finished, if you heard, Craig. So there, it's going to just be permanently gone? Is that what you mean by finished? Which makes sense in this day and age. Why does everybody have to get together when we can do these things virtually? And then Steve can take over as far as the in-person get-togethers. He can have his world-famous parties at Little Treasury Jewelers. And I noticed the lovely Brianna was in the chat earlier. She was in the chat, and she said she was number 3, and Stig was in there, but I don't see Bree lately. Maybe she took off on the reboot. And let's see, and Robert says, do all Grand Seiko have screw-down crowns? And we answered that. Try the entire episode in the chipmunk voice, Daniel Lee. I had a lot of complaints. I did one where I stayed with that voice, and people were pretty irritated. So that didn't work out real well. Let's see. Emmy, Craig, did you take a look online at the wider bracelet on the new 36 millimeter? Do you like it? No, I didn't look. I would really probably have to see that watch in person to really make a determination, but I would be shocked if it doesn't have a taper to it. I think maybe you've gotten some false information there, but I don't know. I'll have to wait until I see it. And of course, that's going to be a while because the ADs are shut down right now. But I did look at a newer model 36 mil day-date about a little over a year ago. I was at the AD and I saw one and it looked fine. So maybe it looks okay without a taper. Maybe it doesn't have a taper and maybe it looks fine. I don't know. I didn't really, nothing jumped out at me like, wow, this is terrible. I mean, I looked at a day-date and I took some pictures of it. As a matter of fact, let's try to pull up one of those pictures. Give me a moment here. From when I was at the Colonial Jewelers. I was at Colonial Jewelers, which is my local AD, who are completely shut down at this point in time. Shut down, which is very, very sad. Very, very sad what this overreaching government has done to stifle our economy. It's just insane, totally insane what they've done, but that's a whole nother story. Let's see if I can find these pictures. Give me a moment here. I'm looking. Okay, here we go. Here is the day-date stunner. Here's a day-date stunner at Colonial Jewelers. Let's try to go full screen on that. It's hard to tell from that picture, but it looks like to me there might be a slight taper to that bracelet. But again, I'd have to really examine one in person to really be sure. But it looks fine. I mean, absolutely, it looks fine. Again, I'm not a big fan of the polished lugs on the newer model. That's why I like the 18238. I like the brushed on the top of the lugs. But hey, I'm nitpicking. That is a stunner. And of course, I wouldn't go with the Roman numeral dial. I'd like lume on mine. But that is a stunner, nevertheless. That is a stunner. Let's see. Rolex, Patek Philippe, Chanel, Chopard, all pulled out because Baselworld wouldn't refund them the millions they spent to go to the 2020 show. Okay. That's interesting. I think it has to have a screw-down crown to be water resistant is a myth created by Rolex. As long as the crown is pulled out to set the time, as long as the crown pulled out to set the time while in the water, in other words, as long as you don't do that. Yeah. Craig, do you have any knowledge of pianos and values? I have one that needs a lot of restoration, but it cost over $10K. Whoa. No, I don't. But yeah, that's a lot of money. And pianos, sometimes you can buy a really nice piano relatively cheap because people are moving and they don't want to pay to have it moved because it's really expensive to move those puppies. So sometimes you can get a deal on what was originally a really expensive piano, especially in times like this, tough times. I tried it on. There's no taper ME. Well, maybe you didn't notice the taper ME. Maybe you didn't notice it and maybe it was there. But again, you're making a big deal out of something that, if you like the watch, buy it. I mean, taper or no taper, it's up to you. If you like the watch, go for it. Go for it. And Carlos is in the house. He says nice. Our Wags is in the house. Blue, I can tell you that $10,000 would be inexpensive for a total rebuild on a grand piano. There you go. Yeah, those puppies can be expensive puppies all the way around. That's why you might want to buy one in really good condition from somebody who is desperate to sell because they might have trouble getting a buyer, especially given the current economic climate. ME says that's not the new model. Oh, okay. Well, when was it? Well, the date's on the photo here. Let me check the date on this photo that I took it. This was August 3, 2018. Okay, so that's from August 3, 2018. And I don't know how long they had it in there, in stock, but that was a brand new one in stock at that time. So, yeah. But the answer to that, Emmy, is if you like the watch, buy it. You're not going to get any argument from me on buying a day-date. Go for it. How much does it weigh being gold, Robert, in the house? I heard that most of these day-dates with the solid links, they're around 2.5 ounces or something of actual gold. Don't quote me on that. It might be 2 3/4 ounces, but that's what I've heard. So there you go. When you're buying a gold Rolex, you're not really paying for the gold. You're paying for all the work that goes into making the watch and, of course, all the tremendous markup along the way. Rolex makes their profit, the AD makes their profit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and the buyer foots the bill for all of that. Craig, have you gone to the Rolex AD yet? Sorry, I just had to ask, even though we all know it's closed. Somebody feels like they have to ask this each episode. But Leon, here's the thing. You got to ask about 5 times during the episode to be on par with the other trolls. Blues in the house. Thanks, our Wags. From what I hear, it can go up to $30K for a rebuild. Hey, you could probably spend $60K. I'll tell you what, you ship it to me, I'll restore it for $60K. Leon's in the house. Should have been, don't pull out the crown. Okay, there you go. Leslie's in the house. There you go. And Brent's hanging out. All right, I wouldn't rebuild a piano unless it's a quality piano. That is a Steinway. Exactly. Absolutely. And like with cars, sometimes you're better off letting somebody else do the full restoration and spend all the money, and then you buy it afterwards, because they're going to probably take a bath on all of that, depending on the car and depending on how much they spend. Of course, I like the cars that are all original. I like the cars that are unrestored. Those are the blue chips. Those are the ones to get if you can, the ones that are just like in beautiful preserved condition. Let's see. BioServe says, enjoying, by the way, our wags, we had that discussion about the Prevost motor coaches. And yeah, that delamination thing, that's the reason, one of the reasons why I like the riveted coaches, the more classic riveted coaches, because they don't really have that issue. But also the delam thing, a lot of the buses that were well-kept buses, that were like one-owner buses, a lot of those have been fixed and fixed properly to where it won't reoccur again. There are some that haven't been, but a lot of the fleet coaches that are in some kind of fleet services and so forth, a lot of those probably have not been fixed. And so those are probably the ones he was showing in that lot where they had the separation, because a lot of those are rode hard and put away wet. And I wouldn't buy one of those under any circumstances. But the coaches that were one-owner coaches and fairly well kept, a lot of those, the owners took them to Prevost and had those properly fixed. So you're going to find a lot of those by now have been fixed. But I would still lean towards the riveted coaches because I think they're cool. I like the riveted ones. Enjoying lockdown food, spam sandwich. Hey, why not a bat sandwich? Why not a bat sandwich? I think that's the appropriate food to eat in the lockdown, is a bat sandwich. Blues in the house. Yep, have a Steinway, but I am not getting good offers as is. Yeah, Carlos is in the house. Maybe learn how to restore it yourself. Maybe that would be the thing to do. Carlos is in the house with a wrench, R-Wags, or a Bechstein piano, all grand pianos. And Bree says hi to Leslie. And unfortunately, I don't think the lovely Bree is going to be able to join us today. I think she's just hanging out and relaxing. But maybe in a show sometime soon, maybe the lovely Brianna will come back in and grace us with her presence. Carlos says, today has been a great day, and I was allowed to leave my house for 2 hours. Whoa! I've been wearing my day date and my best clothing, and I went to Costco. There you go. Well, Costco is usually a pretty good crowd, because people have to pay to have a membership there, and also it's usually a pretty good crowd in Costco. So good move, Carlos. And I'm offered $1,500 for a Steinway, and if the restoration costs $25K or more, I guess $1,500 is fair. Lou in the house. Yeah, that's a shame that it needs all that work. But anyway, Cheatown's in the house. People don't complain about paying $15,000 for a Rolex that uses steel that costs $20 an ounce. So I don't get the whole obsession with the raw material price on the gold models. Cheatown, but you're bringing logic into the conversation. No sense doing that. We don't want to bring any logic in here. And somebody else says hi to Bree. And Leslie says hi. And Leon, plus you have to keep the piano in a climate-controlled room because it will go back out of tune. I tried going to the Santa Monica Mountains, but they closed the trail and had patrol cars around. Uh-oh. Brent says, what's good, Bree? There you go. Hi, Leslie. That's great, Carlos. And Carlos says, my friends hike on Kenter Canyon every day. There you go. What kind of content do I get if I pay for your Patreon? Brent G. Well, if you go at the $25 level, I think you'll be very pleased with the content that Bree shares with her Patreon members. I would highly recommend that. Blues in the house. I love Craig's idea. Have someone pay to restore, then let them take the bath and then buy it. Craigster in the house. Blues rocking it. Lockdown day 22. 6 empty cases of red wine and a mountain of tin cans. Kyle Jet's in the house. We are in Venice right now. I went to Kenter Canyon Elementary. Let's go hiking. Okay. Stig's in the house. It's so good. Skype from Lady Brianna, Steve and Carlos. Why do not anybody else Skype in? I would, but I know Cheetown R-Wags are going to laugh about my English accent. No, we wouldn't. If anybody wants to Skype in, send an email to me, my name, CraigShipp@gmail.com, and I'll send you the Skype number, and you're welcome to Skype in. I love to have people Skype into the show. Bree, let's take Craig's Bitcoin and run away together. Be you serve. No, I hate to tell you, but Bree is a very trustworthy young lady. She's a good steward of my Bitcoin. She's not going to let anybody get a hold of my Bitcoin, and she's not ever going to sell any of her Bitcoin. So there you go. That's how that works. Neither of us are selling any of our Bitcoin. Cheetown, $1,500 for a Steinway that costs $25K to fix. Sounds like paying $5,000 for a third owner Mercedes S600 V12 sedan. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Time check. Yeah, if you want to get taken to the cleaners, buy a V12 Mercedes, an S-Class Mercedes. Just about any gasoline-powered S-Class Mercedes will probably bring you to your knees. Let's see. I think the resale after restored would be $30K or so, but then they have to find a buyer. Yeah, exactly. Good luck with that. And Cheaptown, California, the Mighty Rats in the house are wags. Basically on the piano that needs to be rebuilt, the piano is virtually worthless unless it is a Steinway. There you go. Craig, is the Patreon content 100% PG family friendly? It's family friendly content. It's a little bit racier content than the normal content that she shares. It's but it's it's well worth supporting Bree as a Patreon. So, $25 a month. Come on, you guys. You guys are all very well off. Your guys are doing well. You wouldn't be buying luxury watches if you weren't, pretty well settled, well set. So what's $25 a month to sponsor Bree as a Patreon? Dubai Expat. Hello, Craig. Rolex bubble bursting now or in the next month? Your opinion? It's already starting. We're already seeing some prices start to fall. So hang in there and make offers, make cash offers, but don't make a cash offer unless you want to buy it because they may accept. A smart girl should always hold a knife. There you go. And you got to know how to use it. I got my girlfriend a Kershaw. There you go. Absolutely. I have several Kershaws. All right, so let's look at some more day dates. This is part 2 of yesterday's show, and let's see, Craig, what is your relationship to Bree that you support her so much? $25 a month is a lot. $25 a month is peanuts. What are you talking about? A lot. Bree's a good friend of mine, and I work with her. I help her out. She helps me out with some things, and if $25 is a lot of money to you, you're on the wrong channel. This channel is for people that are in motion and who are successful. $25 should be peanuts to you. $25 a month. That should be just like you spill that much in coffee or whatever. I mean, that should be nothing to you. Let's see. I'm wearing a $200 Seiko, so you can't rich shame me, G-Town in the house. Well, maybe you're wearing a $200 Seiko because you choose to, but you could be wearing a solid gold Patek. Okay, so that's possible too. You could be very well heeled. All right, let's do this. Let's find the. Let's do one more time check here. Let's find the Chrono 24. I don't know where it is here. I got to find the Chrono 24 page. I don't know what happened to it. Okay, here we are. Here's the Chrono 24 page. This was the watch that we were on when we finished our discussion yesterday in part 1. And let's see what else we got here before I go on to this. Talking about cars, do you still know to handle a manual gearbox, Craig, or have you? No, I love a manual shift. I have no problem with a manual shift. Dubai X-Pack, what do I get for $25? I'm not even paying that much for my Netflix. Okay, if you're a cheapskate, don't worry about it. Don't worry about supporting the young lady as a Patreon. If you're cheap, then it's not for you. That's as simple as that. I mean, everybody can't be a Patreon of the lovely Brianna. I mean, that's not for everybody. That's for forward-looking people that are generous and that are well-heeled and that choose to support a young artist getting started. So there you go. Solid gold Patek. There you go. I gave Archie $15 a month and can't stand him. Jaden in the house. That's right. I don't understand all these people super chatting money to Archie when they can support the lovely Bree. What are they thinking? Lamont's in the house. Sub 16K Pepsi GMT count, and G24 is up to 28 hyped models tanking. Okay. All right, so here's the day-date we looked at. That's a stunner. So let's go back here and let's find some more. Let's find some more competitive options here. You know, this one's not hateful right here. Let's pull this puppy up. 11,900. This is an 1803. And let's see here. Let's take a look at it, see what kind of condition it's in. It's looking pretty good. See, they're nice and trim on the wrist, the 1803s. That's a nice looking piece. It's got the hidden clasp bracelet for folks that want that. If that's the watch, it looks pretty good. It doesn't have a lot of stretch in that bracelet. That's not hateful at all, folks. Not hateful at all. So we're finding some examples here that are, not horrendously priced. And you can make an offer on that puppy. Remember, make offers, folks. We're in a buyer's market right now. Buyer's market. Let's find some. I don't like diamonds. I'm going to skip the diamonds. And we're not going to go white gold right now. We're going to skip that whole operation. Let's keep going here. And there's one that's pretty nice. Let's go another page. Let's try to get up in price a little bit. Let's get up in price a little bit. Let's go to the next page. Let's skip a page. Let's go to page 10. Get up in price just a little bit here and see what we've got. Well, look at that. And now we're up to an 18238. A couple of them. Here's one with a stick dial. Let's take a look at this one. This one's 12,500. I do like a white dial. That's going to be relatively legible. It looks pretty tight. Bracelet looks pretty tight to me. Oh, they've only got 2 photos. That's a shame, but that's not a hateful one. Not hateful at all, folks. People spend that kind of money for a freaking Pepsi. Are you kidding me? Let's keep going. Here's another 18238, this time with a blue dial. And it's in the United States of America. Let's see what we got here. One photo. Are you freaking kidding me, people? Back up. What the heck is wrong with these people? What is wrong with people, folks? Please, is there something in the water? Is there something in the H2O that's screwing these people up? Okay. What's up, Bree? I got 8K total. All right, there you go. Emmy, blue dial on day-date looks cheap. Well, then don't buy it. Okay, don't buy it. Let's see. Cheat Town is in the house. $25 a month to Bree is a 66% premium over Archie, but you're getting well over a 66% upgrade in both looks, class, and dancing talent. There you go. but a lot of people will super chat more than that to Archie a month, don't you think? If I super chat Brianna $5, can she scream man on the fucking? Yeah, I'm sure she will. Absolutely. I'd give Brie 25 to roast my G-Shock collection, a la AC3. There you go. Leon, and she'd do it too. Leon's in the house. I think the gold Rolex are the ones you can find and buy in the Rolex AD. The stainless seems to be scarce. Yeah, but if you buy one new, they're still going to be expensive. I mean, you can probably get a discount, but it's still going to be pricey, even if you get a discount. I mean, it's going to be no joke. The Dubai Expect champagne tapestry dial is nice. Absolutely, I agree. There was one, yep. Fluoride, Craig. Yeah, fluoride in the water. That's screwing these people up. All right, let me see what else I can find here. A circa 1970. This is a strange looking dial. This one here. I haven't seen a dial that looks like that. I wonder if those hands have been replaced. It's called a Fat Boy. Interesting. Was that a factory dial? That's very interesting. I don't know if I like it or not, but maybe in person it would look better. I mean, it might be more legible. It looks kind of a little strange. And the whole thing looks strange. The finishing on it and all looks strange, but that might just be the photography. There you go. There you go. You see it all on this channel. Let's see what else we got. Skip the diamonds. I will skip the diamonds. Skip those. There's like the that tapestry dial you're talking about. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going. Some of these are getting into the ugly watch category. Some of them are just marginal. And here's another one that's got a white dial. Let's see if any of these pictures are better than this main picture. Because these pictures don't even look like pictures. I guess they're pictures. I guess that's a picture. It almost looks like a drawing. That looks more like a picture. That doesn't look terrible. That watch does not look terrible. You can tell by the wear on the fluted bezel how much those are worn down as to how much it's been in and out of a shirt. But that is not hateful. So yeah, there are a lot of day-dates, I would say south of $15,000 that are pretty impressive looking watches. If you ask me, I'd want to try to find an original owner watch if possible. Don't worry about if we're getting you demonetized, Craig. YouTube did that as soon as you said personal responsibility. Yeah, no joke. I still like the hidden clasp on the Day-Date R-Wags. Yeah, the hidden clasp is nice. But there is something to be said about having micro adjustments too. I kind of liked my watch with the conventional clasp. I would take either one if I could get one in really great shape. I would take either one if I was a buyer. Stig's in the house. Leon, it is a shook up world. I have a steel Submariner and I thought it was the greatest, but now Craig has made me not sure. There you go. Well, that's what we do. We're trying to help people out here. We do interventions on this channel. We try to help people out. Leon says, I think I will stick to Grand Seiko. Fairly priced, classy all the way, and it does not scream, hey, look, I bought an expensive watch, so you don't get mugged. But what happens if you get a an 002? Let's show the 002 again. I mean, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty much a power watch, and that... that's absolutely going to be pretty impressive. So that might, in the wrong circumstances, that might get you knocked on the head too. So you got to watch it, I think. Aren't they tiny watches? The 36 mil Day-Date wears very nice. It's a great size for a men's watch. It has very good wrist presence. No, there's no issue there. Now, that being said, depending on the dial combination and all, there can be legibility issues. That's why I sold mine. It wasn't super legible, and it ended up I wasn't wearing it that often. Obviously, this watch here that I have on wrist right now is extremely legible, right? The 231 titanium stunner. So there's that. Dubai Expat says ugly. I don't know which one he's talking about. Okay. Craig, I sent you a link and a pic of the presidential LMK. What you think? Okay, I will take a look. Do you like mother of pearl dial on the Day-Date? Some of them look pretty cool. Some of them I've seen have looked pretty cool. Dubai Expat was always wondering if the new watches have sharper edges on the fluted bezels. Is it really wear because of shirts? Yes, it's anything that rubs against it. Shirt cuffs usually will cause that, just to kind of smooth out over the years. And I think it looks fine when it does that. I don't think it's a problem. When are you going to Florida, Craig? Kyle, Leslie, and I want to join you and Bree. I wouldn't go this time of the year. It gets hot down there this time of the year, so it would be next winter. Hopefully next winter I will be able to go. And all this lockdown stuff will be history. And I don't see an email. Oh, there we go. Now here's some emails. Okay. All right. Let me pull up. Here's a watch on eBay. Okay. $13,550. And let's see what we can see. How can we... Okay. Let's look at the pictures here. Looks pretty good so far. Not a hateful amount of stretch. It looks like there's some. Looks pretty nice. Yeah, that's not hateful. But I mean, it's not a steal either. That's still some pretty good money there. I'd offer him $10,000, and depending on where they are, maybe you can do local pickup. Let's see. Does it say where they are? Yeah, I think if you could snag that puppy for around 10 grand cash, that might not be a bad move. Let's see. I don't worry about the 002. Nobody can get them. Leon's in the house. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Steve said hopefully this month, April. Well, we'll see. We're almost halfway through April. Time goes fast, folks. Got to be patient. I think I would be unable to purchase a used watch online from a stranger. Nevertheless, it is for a great price. Yeah, you'd want to buy with buyer protection. If you bought on eBay, you'd want to make sure that you had buyer protection on that purchase for sure. And maybe put it on your credit card so that you have some recourse, right? In addition to the buyer protection. You only like Chrono. What other sites do you like to buy watches on? Well, I'm just using it as an example. I haven't bought any watches on Chrono 24, so I typically don't buy watches on online watch sites. I just look at them and see what the prices are. The most recent watches I bought them all from ADs, including my 18238. I bought that new from the Rolex AD down in Tyson's Corner Mall, Tyson's Corner, Virginia. And of course I bought the Grand Seikos. Now I did buy the gold stunner Grand Seiko from Japan online. I did buy that actually on eBay, and I had buyer protection on it and all that, and that sale went smoothly. So But the others, all the others I bought from the Stevester on Stevester at littletreasury.com. Let's see. How about the watches made from wood? The cases and the bracelet, are they on your radar? No, I would pass on that. Cheetown, Craig, does Kent Courtney sing French songs? Yes. Yes, he does. If so, does he know some good traditional Cajun? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he absolutely does. Next time he's on here, and I got to call him and see if I can get him in for a show. Next time he's on live, just ask him. He'll do it. The word of the day is hateful, as in that's not hateful. Okay. Patek. Okay, let's look at the Patek. We looked at the Aquanaut, I would pass on that. But let's look at the Patek that we looked at the other day. Stunner alert. Okay, I want to give you guys a stunner alert. Here's a stunner.
Love this watch? You can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today, we discuss a bygone reference in perhaps its most essential form. In yellow gold, a Patek Philippe Calatrava 5127J stuns, but with full bracelet, you have a rare.
And look how trim that is on the wrist. And you should watch the rest of that video that Tim did on that puppy. That's the 5127J. That is an absolute stunner Patek. If you want an all-arounder Patek, one that you can wear all the time, that would probably be the way to go. And no, I would skip on the Aquanaut. What's up with Bitcoin? Let's check it. It was up around 6,900 last I saw. Let's see what it's at now. See if I can get this to refresh. For some reason, it's slow refreshing, but if that refreshes, we'll cut to it live and see what the current price is. Of course, for those of us that are long-term thinkers, we don't really care what the price is today. We care what the price is going to be in 2028 after 2 more halvings. Late 2028. Let's see. Did you see yesterday Trump's press conference? I enjoyed it. I heard about it. I heard he attacked some of the grinders. Okay, let's see here. Craig, what do you think of the Patek 5396J? Well, we can take a look at that. Okay, meanwhile, Bitcoin is at 6888. Now 6889. So almost $6,900. It's been trying to go back over 7,000, and it's gone over it a couple times and then pulled back. So I don't know what it's going to do short term. Okay, so let's try to pull that up, that 5396J. Give me a moment. Well, first of all, it's a white gold watch, so I would pass on that. But let's try to bring it up here. Okay. Wait, 5396. I want a J. How come it gave me a G? This is the watch that came up when I did the search. How come the J didn't come up? The J should be yellow gold. See, 5396J is what I searched. That should be yellow gold. Darn. Why is it not coming up? Oh boy. Well, anyway, I'm guessing that the 5396J would be that watch in yellow gold. In which case it would be a stunner. Yeah, it would be an absolute stunner. I'd have no issues with that piece in yellow gold. Absolutely. That Patek is girly. Well, I think it'd be pretty cool. I still prefer the 002 myself because it's not as busy. It doesn't have as busy a dial. I really don't need the complications on the dial. It just busies it up for me, so That's the way that works. They look great in macro shots, but in everyday normal use, they're not really that useful. Craig, is the 9F shock and magnetism proof? The 9F is extremely robust. So yeah, it can take a lot of shock and a lot of magnetism. I don't think you're going to have any issues whatsoever with a 9F movement. It's extremely robust. I think it's going to be more robust than any automatic movement that you would have out there. Aquanaut on a rubber strap is the Yeezy show. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I would pass on the Aquanaut. Tom's in the house. Carlos is back in the house, and everyone says that 18 karat gold watches are soft and vulnerable, yet I have yet to see any evidence that supports these claims. If this is such a hot issue, where are the mangled watch videos? Yeah, I mean, these are people that talk about watches, but they don't actually wear and use them for decades. They're Johnny-come-latelys, and they just talk about watches, but they don't actually use them. So on this channel, we're all about actually using these watches and wearing them for literally decades. So that's what I've done, and that's what I recommend doing, and you're not going to have any problems with an 18 karat gold Rolex wearing it on a daily basis. Ask the man who owns one. Ask our Wags. He'll tell you. What do you think of the Heuer Carrera Caliber 7 gold as a solid gold watch, 100 meter water resistant, as a budget option around 5 to 6K new? What, is it that price? Is it actually solid gold? That's interesting. I'm not familiar with it. And yeah, it'd be interesting to look and see. I wonder if it's an ugly watch. Tom, maybe you can send me a link. Maybe you can email me a link to look at in the email, and then I can pull it up and show everybody if you can find a good example. Brent's in the house. Craig, I sent you a picture. Please check. Okay. I will absolutely do that. That's what I do. That is what I do. And it looks like sunglasses. Sunglasses. Oh, these would be kind of cool. I think these would be kind of cool. I wonder if they're prescription or not. I've seen people wearing similar glasses to that, and I think they're kind of cool depending on, how they look on you. Personally, I would probably prefer brass for all the hardware, so it would match nicely with a gold watch, all brass. But I think the glasses are kind of cool looking. I think they're kind of different and kind of cool looking. I think so. Let's see. Imagine the 002 with a bracelet. Why can't they do something like that, Kyle Jet? Why can't Grand Seiko do a lot of things? I mean, they are a relatively small operation with a limited number of watchmakers, and they just can't keep up with demand for what they're making already. I mean, look how hard it is for us just to get the normal 002, right? They just can't keep up. And Steve is starting to see some shortages now in some of the mainstream models. He's even starting to see some shortages in the 231, in the 005, and all the 60th anniversary models are going to be scarce as hen's teeth. So it's going to be a real problem really getting any Grand Seikos here as time progresses on, because they're getting more and more popular all the time. And the supply is very limited. Unlike Rolex, they can't just turn a crank and all of a sudden crank out more watches. They're very limited because they have a limited number of watchmakers that are qualified to make the watches. There's a lot of hand work in them. And so it's going to be a real problem getting a lot of Grand Seikos. I'm glad I have two real nice ones already, and hopefully a third here soon. Fingers crossed. Archie says, JLC steel is soft as butter. Okay. Archie says a lot of things. I feel it is not possible Biden ends running versus Trump. Who will be in Kumo? Oh, so you think they're going to pull somebody else in? Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. a lot of, I think a lot of the election results is going to depend on if the economy is recovering by then, and if we're pulling out of this terrible situation we're in right now, then that will bode well for the Trumpster. But he better get us out of this mess, and sooner rather than later. Do you like Vacheron Constantin? Some of them are pretty cool, Kevin. Some of them are pretty cool. Buserve, I cannot see that. Okay. Doesn't AC3 hoard all his watches in a bank safe? I'd take what he says about watch durability with a grain of salt, Cheetown. Hillary and Newsom as VP might make sense. Cheetown, the difference between GS and Rolex here is GS can't make enough watches to meet demand versus Rolex won't make enough watches to meet demand. There you go. That's a very good point. Very good point. Let's see here. And let's see what else we had spooled up. We had this puppy up yesterday. We were talking about that. If you want an expensive stunner from Grand Seiko, there's a expensive stunner. Yeah, I bet it is. Let's see what else we had spooled up. And, of course, somebody asked about this stunner with the blue dial and the gold GS. That's a pretty elegant watch, I have to grant you. And, I mean, there are a lot of nice-looking dress watches that are just stainless steel, and there are a few that are titanium that Grand Seiko makes. So if somebody's tempted to buy, for example, a white gold Patek or something like that, I would just buy some steel, some really nice steel sport watch, because they're not going to be able to tell the difference. They'll probably think the steel one is platinum and vice versa. So if you're going to go that route, you might as well just save some money and buy a nice stainless steel stunner. Okay, we're caught up on the comments. So let's see what else we've got in here spooled up that we talked about. We talked about this puppy. Did I show this one when I was talking about it? The green one? I mean the green one. The blue dial stunner. Okay, and we talked about that stunner. I'm going to go ahead and close that tab out. We don't need that one open. And I'm going to leave this. This is one of the 60th anniversary watches. I'm going to go ahead and leave that open. Let's see what the size is, the dimensions on this. 12.4 millimeters thick. This is the one that's more sporty. This does have, I believe, a screw-down crown. Let's confirm that. Whoops. I think it says it here. Let's see. Functions. I think, yeah, screw-down crown right here. So see, that one is designed to be more of a sporty. For their 60th anniversary, that one's more a sporty type thing. That's why they have the screw-down crown on that one. So there you go. Let's see. I look up 5107 Patek in white gold. Look up, okay, 5107 Patek. Well, we'll just pull up 5107. Give me a second. 5107 Patek. Oh, so it's just it's the Calatrava with the it's the Calatrava with the crowns, with the crown guards. Let's pull it up, and we'll pull it up. I guess this one's in rose gold. I mean, they're going to all look the same. If you look white gold, it'll just be white. Yeah, that one's rose gold. Yeah, I mean, that's a very nice piece. No flies on that. I have no problems. No problems with that. Here's the white gold one by Tim, by the Timster. Let's see if we can pull this up.
Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel. Thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Patek Philippe Calatrava 5107G. You can see and you can purchase this white gold automatic winding Patek Philippe Calatrava on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos.
But I just don't get paying that kind of money and getting white gold, because why? I mean, Sure, maybe you can get it for a little bit less than the yellow gold version of the same watch, but it's not going to be much less. I would rather just step up and get the yellow gold version, and I would also skip on the rose gold. Let's see. Craig, why are ADs so paranoid about people taking photos? My AD allowed me to take photos of the watches, but they didn't really want like photos of the whole store or anything like that. They let me take close-ups. I did take a few pictures of the sales lady holding a couple of watches, but I know those folks. But yeah, Rolex is a pain in the neck on things like that, on what they can and can't do. So the ADs are very gun-shy just because of all the restrictions that Rolex puts on them. So it's not because they're being jerks. It's just Rolex can take their franchise like that, you know, and they will do it if they don't follow the rules. So there you go. Craig, what do you think of Rolex's claim that it takes a year to make one watch? I guess maybe if it sits for long periods of time between different things being done to it, I don't know why it would take that long to make a watch, but depends on how they're construing that timeline. Tom's in the house. Budget option. Okay, let's pull that up. Oh boy, time check. Okay. Here we go. Carrera, that's a good looking watch. I have no issues with that. I like the case design. I like the dial. That's interesting. I'm assuming it's like gold plated or something. It's probably not solid 18 karat gold, right? So I don't know what the price point is, but yeah, let us know in the chat what the price point is. But yeah, that's a good looking piece. There's no debating that. Let's see. Read about that new GS gold watch, and the movement is pretty amazing, but spring drive will do me. Yeah, the spring drive on the 002 is amazing. That manual wind spring drive, absolutely amazing. Only about 10 mils thick. You serve. I never had that feeling, but I always ask before if they are presenting me a watch, and they never refused. What do you think about the Grand Seiko SBGH269? Let's check it. $269. Check this puppy. We've looked at this before, obviously. We're going to pull it up here. It is a limited edition. And yeah, I think it's a stunner. I personally like the spring drive over the high beat, but the high beat is no joke. And that is a gorgeous piece with the gold Grand Seiko and GS and the gold secondhand. And by the way, in person, it looks a lot. I have seen one of these in person. It looks a lot better than in this rendition here. It is a stunner, and that is a limited edition piece. So I don't know if you've got a line on one, but if you want one, it's not going to be real easy to get. Chi-Town, my issue with owning a complicated Patek is if it is too delicate to wear daily, then won't it be a pain to constantly keep setting it every time? I don't know that they're that delicate to wear. I think they're designed to wear, and a lot of people wear Pateks on a daily basis. I think you can wear them. I wouldn't really be worried about that. Eventually, you're probably going to have it serviced, and it's going to cost you, of course, an arm and a leg, but I think you can wear it. Craig should do a show with the Timster. Well, he'd be welcome on the show, absolutely. But, you know, this channel's small time compared to their channel. They're the big boys. Let's see. Kevin, Patek belongs on a strap. I'll tell you though, that one on the gold bracelet looked pretty stunning that I showed earlier. Craig's in the house. That one is nice. Daily watch if you wear formal, Carlos. Cheetown, my point exactly. Rolex do not care. It is the ADs are going to carry the burden. Okay. Tom, I have hundreds of photos of watches from boutiques and ADs and a file on my computer. Okay. So he's been able to take them. Stig's in the house. You have nice ADs there. Tom says solid gold. Well, that is really interesting. What is the price point on that? Did you say it was 5,000? If that's true, that's very affordable. Thoughts on those vintage Omega Seamaster DeVille solid gold watches? Some of the DeVilles are attractive watches. Absolutely. Some of them are very interesting. I have one, Tim. I like mine. It's small and trim, blue in the house. Do you think that a vintage Movado is a good buy? That's a good question. I haven't really looked at Movados that much. It wouldn't be the watch for me because I think there are better options. And like I said yesterday, I'm not a big fan of wearing watches that are really old. I mean, more than like 20 or 30 years old. I'd rather have something a little more modern that I'm not going to have to worry about. So, yeah, Derek's in the house. Craig, what would you sell the diver for when you get your new day-date? The diver. The 231? Probably 5,000. Probably, let me think. If I shipped it in the U.S., probably 5,000. I think would be a fair price for this piece. They go for anywhere from like 4,500 to 5,000 used usually. And since this one is probably the most accurate 231 on the planet, I think 5,000 would be good. But it would be good if somebody bought this that is actually going to wear and use it, because this is not a safe queen. So if they want a safe queen, they don't want to buy this watch because it's actually been worn and used. So there you go. It depends on how old the watch is. I like the Omega watches from the 2000s. I found a yellow gold rapine, whatever that means, that looks good in the photos at least. Omega is an easy way into precious metal. Yeah, there are some. I've seen some Omegas on eBay that have been fairly attractive watches. But again, if you get one that's pretty old, you got to worry about, is it going to be running right? Am I going to have it serviced? And all those kinds of issues. I'd rather buy something and just be able to wear it and not worry about it. I guess because I'm getting old, I don't like to put up with a lot of nonsense. Carlos, you're so right, but unlike you, I'm just a poor man and cannot afford to buy a new watch every month. Stig in the house. Hey, get out there and make some deals, Stig. Get some things going on. Make some things happen. There's tremendous opportunities now more than ever for people to get out there and do deals and make things happen. This is a land of opportunity. It's a world of opportunity. Blues in the house. What does Craig think of that guy, Michael, who paid $450K for a Jacob and Company double tourbillon watch? You're talking about producer Michael, that guy? Yeah, he spends a lot of money on a lot of things. And he has a lot of ugly watches, really ugly watches. He's got relatively poor taste, to tell you the truth, but that's just the way it is. A lot of people out there in California have poor taste. Hey, let me check the time on my 450K watch. Is a split time chronometer. There you go. Yeah, I would pass on all that. Carlos is in the house. Stig, I do not purchase a watch every month, at least not an expensive one. Your thoughts on the Audemars Piguet Gubelin watch? Okay, let me look that up. Let me try to look it up. Give me a second. Pulling this puppy up. pulling this puppy up. Been a lot of images came up here. A lot of them look pretty ugly. Let's see if we can find that particular watch. Here's one on eBay. Let's see what this is. Oh my God, that's ugly. If that's what you're talking about, no, that would be a no-fly zone. That is one ugly watch. Let's go back here. See if there's anything else we can pull up here. Here's one on Chrono 24. Yeah, that is ugly. No wonder it's only $2,450. Yeah, that would be a that'd be a no-fly zone there. No-fly zone on that one. I don't wear ugly watches. Okay. Let's see here. I disagree with Federico when he said that producer Mike is not a true watch enthusiast. Unfortunately, I am banned from Fed's channel and couldn't comment. The producer Mike is not a true watch enthusiast. I think producer Mike is an enthusiast of a lot of expensive things, but like I said, he also has relatively poor taste, so there's that. More money than he has taste. I wouldn't pay half that for that watch. Producer, nice call. I like the millinery. Nobody's going to steal it. Okay. There you go. All right, so we've been going for an hour, folks. Get your last minute questions, comments, etc. in the chat so that we can wrap this puppy up. And remember, the 60th anniversary models are selling pretty fast over at Little Treasury. LittleTreasury.com. Link is in the description. So if you want to get one of the 60th anniversary stunners, you might want to do it sooner rather than later, because they are going. They are going, gone. And I'm going to wrap this puppy up. I'm going to give you guys a few more seconds. And by the way, if any of you all that have iPhones and you haven't gotten your Apple credit card, this is titanium, and it is free. I might start carrying this in my wallet because it's kind of cool. Kind of cool to have like a titanium, if I want to use it as like a pry bar or something, you know. Maybe to jimmy a lock, you know. Might be cool to have. They are free to apply for and get if you have to have an iPhone, as far as I know. Let's see. Okay, that's it. Craig, what do you think of those shades for $800? Oh, they're $800? I don't know. I might pass on that for that kind of price. We'll see. I'd rather have them all brass hardware on them, especially for that price. Breed Fit Dance is in the house. Got push-ups done. All right, well, maybe on the next push-up day, maybe 2 days from now, maybe you can show us live on the show how you do them, okay? I did mine earlier today as well. Bree and I both do our push-ups on even days, and then on odd days we do our arms exercises. And I hope you pushed hard, Bree, and I hope you did good form. Next time you come over, I'm going to check your form on those. Make sure you're doing them right. Let's see. There should be some new releases from other brands in the coming days. Okay. I saw producer Michael in real life. He was going out of the Diamond Merchant on Rodeo Drive. He had the blue Rolls Royce parked on a handicap parking. Oh, jeez. Bree, how many? Bree says 25. Hey, you better be doing good form, young lady. Remember, it's not the number of them you do, it's the form. Do them nice and slow and easy and keep straight. Craig, you should get another day-date. Emmy in the house. Well, we'll see. Maybe that'll happen. How many day-dates have you had, Emmy? Let us know in the chat how many you've had over the years. I think I've had, let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've had 4 over the years. Over the last 40 years. Let's see. And somebody says, Bree, nice. How are you boys doing? Says Scott in the house. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this puppy up. And thank you all for tuning in. And Scott says, producer Mike is cute. No, well, there you go. Absolutely. I guess Scott just came in right as we're wrapping up, unfortunately. Sorry about that. That's how that works. By the way, I'm wearing a Gitman Brothers shirt. Gitman Brothers, which I've talked about them many times. Very comfortable, this particular shirt. And I was just kind of lounging a little bit today. No tie, no coat. It's a little bit warm in here today with all the lights and the computers going and everything. So that's how that is. Blue is the 231, one of your favorite watches you've ever owned. Yes. As far as the sport watches go, heavy use sport watches, which I would put my GMT Master 2s in that category, my Submariner that I had, the red sub, even my Omega Seamaster 120, I'd put that in that category. Of all the heavy use sport watches, this is right at this is the top. This is the right up there. I mean, it's very rugged. It's, of course, super accurate, super legible. I mean, just legible beyond belief. Unlike Rolex, it does have an anti-reflective coating on the inside of the crystal, so at least you get some anti-reflective properties to it. And, of course, stone cold accurate. Very comfortable on wrist because of the titanium, and it's not just the weight, it's also the properties of titanium that are very hypoallergenic. So yes, this is amazing on wrist, and I love the quick adjustment on the clasp. I've got it extended a little bit right now. Pretty soon I'm going to extend one of the micro adjustments, make it looser for the summertime. Yeah, I like pretty much everything about it. Is it perfect? Are there a few things I would change? Sure, I'd like it a little bit thinner if we could. If they could get it down to like 12.5 mils thick instead of 14. Even though 14, as you see, looks pretty good on wrist because of the way it drapes around the wrist, the way the lugs are shaped and all. It looks pretty good. But yeah, that would probably be one thing I would do, make it a little thinner on the wrist. Even make it maybe 42 mils instead of 44. Maybe that would be the sweet spot. But again, I'm nitpicking. It's pretty awesome, and I think it looks pretty good on my wrist. So yeah. Let's see. I had one day-date, but many Rolex and Patek. Well, did you sell your day-date? You have. I have one day-date. Okay, good. Okay, so you still have it. Okay, I'd wear that puppy. Absolutely. And Dirk says, wait, Craig, please. We can't end yet. We have more to cover on the day-date. My first car was the same as producer Michael, yellow seat 127. Our car career parallelism stopped there. Greg Allen, where have you been all my life? There you go. All right. Well, I think we've done it. I think we've got another one in the can. Let's do a time check, a last-minute time check. And you guys all have a great, fantastic evening. And remember, click subscribe and click the bell, because you won't get notifications unless you click the bell. So click subscribe and click the bell, and that will help with all of that. Thanks for watching.